mayroon talagang namamatay hanggang ngayon. Kaya yung human rights must take note. Nakikiusap ako sa mga human rights. Kindly take a deeper look into the drug situation. You would notice that there are really persons who die almost daily because ito lumaban talaga at hindi kasali ang pulis ko na may tama at namatay rin. Nakikita na ninyo ang negosyo, kaya kung ayaw ninyong tumulong, huwag na kayong magsige takot dyan na takot-takutin yung mga pulis na demanda, opening of records. Hindi nga pwede yung open yan pag makita ninyo, baka makita ninyo yung pangalan ninyo, kayo pala ang nagbibigay ng mga impormasyon sa pulis. That is why we cannot sue ito. You might find your name there. Hindi naman yung pulis patay ng patay dito. Alam nila kung magpatay sila ng walang rason, makukulong talaga sila.
Metro Manila and Bulacan will stay under General Community Quarantine or GCQ with some restrictions, while other areas under the NCR Plus bubble will be under GCQ with heightened restrictions until June 30. President Duterte orders the arrest of people who are presenting falsified COVID-19 test results. The health department says the incidence of COVID-19 infections across the country is plateauing, but the attack rate is increasing in the Visayas and Mindanao. A prosecutor of the International Criminal Court is seeking a full investigation into the country's war on drugs. The ICC's preliminary investigation found that there was basis to believe that the crime against humanity of murder was committed in the country. And the regional trial court upholds the validity of Nadine Lustre's contract with Viva. But the actress's camp is still claiming victory over the dispute. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. Kicking off today's newscast with President Rodrigo Duterte approving the extension of general community quarantine in Metro Manila until the end of June. NCR and Bulacan will be placed under GCQ with some restrictions, while Laguna, Cavite, and Rizal will also be under GCQ with heightened restrictions. However, the government has yet to announce the difference between the two subclassifications. Other areas under regular GCQ are now flashed on your screens. Provinces have also been placed under Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine. MECQ areas have tighter restrictions compared to those under GCQ. The cities and provinces under MECQ for the rest of June are listed on your screens. Meanwhile, all other areas in the Philippines shall be placed under Modified General Community Quarantine starting June 16 to June 30. President Duterte has ordered the arrest of those who will be caught presenting fake RT-PCR test results across borders during the pandemic. In his address, Duterte said he has received reports that some travelers heading to certain destinations such as Boracay present fake swab test results for them to be allowed entry. As the government allows more mobility across the country, Duterte wants the PNP, the Tourism Department, and LGUs to be more proactive in their crackdown against falsified travel documents.
Kindly check at least twice over whether or not you have the genuine certificates. I am also directing the Department of Tourism, the Philippine National Police, and all local government to arrest those presenting fake tests and enforce strict compliance on protocols of local tourism. Do not be afraid to file sanctions.
Interior Secretary Ed Año announced that they have recorded over 67,000 health protocol violators as of yesterday. More than 51,000 have been warned or penalized for not wearing face masks. Almost 500 people were also caught conducting mass gatherings, while over 15,000 were reprimanded for not observing physical distancing. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III says the Philippines is exhibiting a nationwide plateau in COVID-19 cases. Duque noted the very slow downtrend in cases in Metro Manila, while infections for the rest of Luzon, as well as the rest of Visayas and Mindanao, have slightly increased compared to the previous week.
Patuloy na nagpaplato ang ating mga kaso dahil sa mabagal na pagbaba ng mga kaso sa NCR. Nagpapalato ang mga kaso sa plus areas, rest of Luzon and Mindanao, at ang pagtaas ng mga kaso sa Visayas ay binabantayan din po natin. Para po sa mga Pilipinong may edad na 50 lampas sa 80 taong gulang, ang case fatality rate po nila ay napakamataas. Ito rin po ang dahilan bakit lagi po natin sinasabi na unahin ang mga matatanda sa atin pong mga vaccination program sapagkat sila po ang may pinakamalaking porsyento na napupunta sa ICU.
Meanwhile, vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. announced that the country is about to breach the 7 million mark on administered vaccines. Because of this, Galvez claimed that the Philippines now ranks 31st among 91 countries in the global vaccine rollout and second among the ASEAN. Galvez noted the increase in expected vaccine deliveries in the country as rich countries relaxed restrictions on vaccine imports, and he's expecting about 45 million doses to arrive in the Philippines by the third quarter of the year.
Gandang balita po yun na ang US tumutulong po sa atin, pati po yung apat na kanyang mga companies ay sa ngayon po talagang on the verge of makukuha na natin po yung supply agreement ng more or less 90 million doses. We also want to thank China kasi po yung Sinovac, very steady po yung kanyang vaccine delivery. At yun po nakapag-support sa ating mga A4 opening. And then also yung Sinovac, siya rin po ang sinusupply po namin sa mga emerging hotspots.
Long lines formed outside vaccination sites in Manila. This as residents hope to finally get their COVID-19 dose. Greg Gregorio with the story.
If not for the face masks and physically distanced queue, one could mistake this scene as a regular pre-pandemic day in Binondo, Manila. But residents aren't here to shop. They're hoping to get a COVID-19 vaccine slot. With Manila City's first-come, first-served policy, residents had no choice but to try their luck in securing one of the allocated 2,000 doses on Monday. Corazon, a senior citizen, opted to just go home after seeing the line.
Kasi nakakatakot eh. Baka doon ako malagyan ng COVID, wala na social distancing.
Others were more insistent, staying past the declared cutoff at around 8 a.m.
Nakakalungkot sir kasi nakakita namin sa harap namin na inabot yung huling slot. So kami pumila kami mga alas 4 dito.
5 o'clock nandito na kami. Inform naman sa amin, baka sakali magpasobra daw si Mayor.
Others were dismayed, especially those who lined up as early as last night.
May ang barangay ho dito, bilangin nyo na yung tao, sabihin ko.
Ay, hindi po namin nanggagaling po yung ticket po.
Nagdala na ako ng upuan kasi sabi dun sa mga comment, magdala na daw ng upuan yung mga ngalay ka sa pila.
Manila Mayor Isko Moreno appeals for more patience from his constituents, saying vaccination depends on available supply. He also defended the city's vaccination policy, noting how some who pre-registered failed to show up in their confirmed schedule. The health department says LGUs should be more organized in their vaccine rollout to avoid having a super spreader event.
Kailangan paganahin natin yung master listing process natin, yung scheduling, para po hindi tayo nagkukumpul-kumpul dito sa mga bakunahan.
The MMDA says the Manila LGU won't face any sanctions over how it conducts its vaccination. But a meeting between Manila City officials and the DOH has been set to go over possible policy adjustments. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
U.S. vaccine manufacturer Novovax has signified its intent to apply for emergency use authorization in the Philippines. This was confirmed by FDA Director General Eric Domingo during the IATF meeting last night. Domingo said that Novovax may apply for an EUA in the country by July or August. And Domingo also disclosed that clinical trials for ivermectin use will also begin this month. This, as President Duterte pointed out, many have claimed it as an effective drug against COVID-19.
Meron na rin naman pong FDA-approved na human preparation ng ivermectin dito sa Pilipinas. Meron na rin po tayong pinayagan na ibenta at human grade po talaga ito. At meron pa pong mga ibang kumpanya na nag-a-apply din po at undergoing evaluation.
Finance Secretary Sonny Dominguez claims that the country's debt level might be high, but this is still manageable. Dominguez said that for 2021, borrowings may exceed 3 trillion pesos. That's up from last year's 2.7 trillion pesos and more than triple our 1 trillion peso borrowing from 2019. Dominguez also said that the situation is only temporary and will return to lower levels once the economy recovers.
We had to borrow money because bumaba nga yung humina nga yung economy natin kasi mga lockdowns, tapos bumaba pa yung collections natin kasi humina ang business. The debt level of our country is high, but it is sustainable and we can manage to handle this debt in the coming years.
The chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court is seeking a full investigation into President Duterte's bloody war on drugs. In a statement, ICC prosecutor Fatou Bensouda said she has reasonable basis to believe that murder, a crime against humanity, was committed in the context of the country's drug war. She added that available information dictates that the PNP and their cohorts killed between several thousand to tens of thousands of civilians between July 16 and March 2019. Opening this probe will likely be one of Bensouda's final acts before stepping down on Tuesday. As her term of office ends on Tuesday, she said her successor, Britain's Karim Khan, will continue all authorized investigations moving forward. In last night's address, Duterte urged human rights advocates to view the drug war from the perspective of the government.
Nakikiusap ako sa mga human rights. Kindly take a deeper look into the drug situation. You would notice that there are really persons who die almost daily because ito lumaban talaga. At hindi kasali ang pulis ko na may tama at namatay rin.
A Quezon City court has ordered actress Nadine Lustre to uphold her contract with Viva Artists Agency. Viva had filed a petition to grant them interim measures of protection in relation to their contract with the actress. The agency said that with this ruling, Nadine is prohibited from entering into or performing contracts without their consent and participation. But for the actress's camp, the recent ruling is still a win for Nadine. That's because the court denied Viva's claims for attachment and garnishment of Nadine's earnings. The court also reminded the parties that issues arising between them should be hashed out in arbitration proceedings and not in court. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.